This is Histories and Mysteries. I'm Ashley.
I'm Jessica, and I'm having issues with my
I
microphone.
always catch you off guard.
I'm like fiddling with this thing, and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna start.
It was too late. My finger was already mid push when I noticed.
Fend for
No.
yourself. So anyways, on this week's episode, Ashley is going to be talking about the murder of Mercedes Williamson. And apparently it's super sad.
It's
So
pretty sad, yeah.
sorry. And I'm going to be covering a listener suggested story.
Ooh.
It was Ashley, the girl that gave me the jokes last week.
Oh, us Ashley's got to stick together.
Oh, yeah. She's in the North Pole.
She's in the North freaking Pole?
Yeah.
What is she doing there?
She's technically like Alaska, but it's like the North Pole. That's what she told me. I don't know. She said that they have Santa Claus as their mayor or something. I don't know.
That's adorable. So is her city called the North Pole? Is that what it is?
Oh, I don't know.
That's super cute. Ashley, will you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, because I'm like confused, but
because I know like the North Pole, the actual North Pole, I don't think there's any land on it. So I was thinking, except Santa Claus is there, obviously.
Yeah. And
so I thought maybe you were talking about like a surround, like close to the North Pole, surrounding. But I wonder if there's a North Pole, Alaska. Let's look.
That'd be cool. I don't know.
There is North Pole, Alaska. So that's probably where she's from. That's so cute.
That is really cute.
They have year-round Christmas decorations, including candy cane striped street lights.
Ashley, you should move there.
I would love it. Ashley, tell me all about it. That is, oh my God, that's so cute.
Christmas is Ashley's favorite season.
I fucking love Christmas season. I love everything about it.
I know.
But I wonder, Ashley, I need to know. How do you get to North Pole? Like, is it like super remote? Like, do you have to fly in or like, oh, it's kind of by Fairbanks. Okay. Oh, okay.
I mean, I really wanted to move to Alaska until my story, so well, wait and see.
How cute. I should definitely do a trip there. I bet it's Ashley. Is it packed during Christmas time? Because I want to come. Oh my God, how cute. They have a North Pole school.
Oh, that's adorable.
Their mascot better be like the reindeer or something. Oh, it looks like it's a knight. That is a sad waste of fun.
It could have been like an elf or something.
Yeah, that's a waste of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, everybody out there, there's a North Pole, Alaska, and I'm very excited about it.
And that's my story.
The end.
The end. No. So I'm going to be talking about the Alaskan Triangle. So it's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle, but it is sort of worse.
Creepy. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. And then next week, I'll go into another story that she sent me that's related to this story.
Okay. Oh, I'm so excited.
We'll go from there. So this week's kind of short, but I think there's like a lot to unpack in the short story. Okay. So I think we're going to have a good time with it. It's really fun.
Nice. Have you seen those memes where it's like, I thought the Bermuda Triangle was going to be a lot more important when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so
honestly
true.
So worried about it. Even sharks in the pool. Like, just, yeah.
We used to go to this cabin in Michigan on a lake. And when I was little, my whole family went, like my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. And my two older cousins, Kelly and Katie, convinced me that there were sharks in the lake. So I was scared to go swimming.
Were they older cousins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
so funny.
I think they're 4 or 5 years older than me. So
Yeah,
they
they
would have
just
been like
didn't want you.
teenagers.
They
Yeah.
just didn't want you bugging them.
Probably. Yeah. Cause I would have been, yeah. Cause if I was like 10, they were like 16.
Yeah. They just didn't want you bothering them. You little annoying shit.
And then one time I was cold from swimming. So my toes were kind of purpley, you know, like when you get cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said they were going to fall off. So I had to get
Yeah. They just really didn't like you. You might need to bring that up with them. Literally.
I love them now. We get along very well now. So
that's good.
Yes. But I'm sure they didn't want all the little cousins hanging out with them because they were the older ones. So
that makes sense.
Anyway, so my story I got from a documentary called True Crime. It's on MTV. It was actually really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And I started out wanting to do a different case, but it was on True Crime MTV UK.
Oh.
And I couldn't get the documentary. And like when I was looking up, I was like, well, I can do it without a documentary, obviously. But when I was trying to do some research on it, there just wasn't a ton on it. So I ended up doing this case. And I got more information from NBC News and BBC.
Okay.
So deep in the woods of Loosedale, Hold on.
We're off to a great start.
Because I wrote Missouri.
Oh, and that's not accurate.
But I'm pretty sure it was Mississippi.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. I forgot how to look up. Oh my God. I forgot to look up the pronunciations of words in my story. So.
Oh no. It's gonna be a struggle.
Fun.
Lucille. Yeah, Mississippi. I don't know why I wrote Missouri. I was like, I swear to God, it's Mississippi because I've written it like several times, and I put a joke about Mississippi in here too. So okay. So deep in the woods of Loosedale, Mississippi, on June 2nd, 2018, the body of 17-year-old Mercedes Williamson was found. Mercedes was found under a pile of trees and limbs with numerous stabbings and a large indent in her skull. So she had been beaten, blunt force trauma.
Mm.
The violence of this murder showed that it was personal. And as with many small towns, the sheriff's department was also really, really small. So they immediately called in the FBI, which kudos to them.
Good.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The FBI in this is really awesome. I was really impressed.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So Lucedale is a small town in Mississippi with a small town Mississippi mentality.
Oh, really? Tell me more about Mississippi.
It's ass backward.
Okay.
Especially right now. They're having some like super strict abortion laws, just very conservative.
That's too bad.
Well, and Mercedes was transgender.
Mm.
So growing up in a very small conservative town, transgendered, it was hard. But all of her friends said she had such an amazing personality. Everyone spoke about how wonderful she was, how funny she was. One friend even said that she could have been a comedian because she was so funny.
Aww. And
she wanted to go to cosmetology school. So that was kind of her goal. And she was very open about who she was. She didn't hide that she was transgendered. It wasn't like she was ashamed or anything like that. She was very open and very proud of who she was.
Mm-hmm.
One friend even recalled a day when Mercedes hooked up. This is so country. She hooked up a twin mattress to the back of a lawnmower and drove her friend around on it down the street.
That is not where I thought you were going when you said hooked up.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. Hooked up a twin mattress to the back of a lawnmower. So, just doing stupid teenage stuff.
That's hilarious. I love that.
And this same friend who rode around on the mattress, coincidentally, is also transgender.
Aww.
And he said he recalled when they were in 4th grade, Mercedes came to him and was like, I think I like guys. And he was like, I think I like girls. So they started to kind of look into what that meant for them and, their identities and how they wanted to represent themselves. And they kind of started looking at transgender and they're like, this is us. This fits us to a T.
Yeah.
And they were off on their journey, their transgender journey together, which is so awesome that they found each other.
Yeah, in such a small town.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And he was like, it was super funny because she came over and she was like, you're probably not going to want your dresses anymore. And I don't want my boy clothes anymore. So you want to just swap? So they just swapped clothes.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that.
But unfortunately, her family was not as understanding as her friends were. In fact, the fighting and anger got so bad that at one point, one of her friends' moms said, Mercedes, you can come live with us.
Aww.
And her parents said, that's fine. It was great for her. She loved it. She basically kind of gained a sister because that was, her friend lived there, obviously. And so she kind of had a sister now. She was doing great. The mom loved her. Everything was good. But about a year later, that family had to move to Texas, and Mercedes' mom and dad wouldn't let her leave the state with them.
What?
Yeah, which kind of makes me mad because it's like not that they didn't want her, but you didn't accept her.
Yeah.
And this family did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her infuriating.
Yeah. So her plan was to wait until she turned 18 and then she was going to head out to Texas and join them there.
Oh, okay.
But until then, she had nowhere to go and she didn't want to go home. So she did what a lot of transgender youth do. And she started kind of couch surfing and kind of was homeless.
Yeah.
For the most part, her friend that she had lived with knew who she was staying with because, it's a small town. She knew the people. Mm-hmm. So she knew who she was staying with at different points. They, stayed in contact and all that stuff. But at one point, Mercedes was staying in a travel trailer with a lady, and the mom that had moved to Texas had no idea who this lady was. And so she was kind of like worried about it.
Yeah.
And this lady was a grown woman named Jeannie. And the travel trailer was in an area known for drug activity.
Oh.
And at this point, Mercedes started distancing herself from her friends as well. So I think she just kind of got into a bad crowd.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I want to think that the lady Jeannie was doing here's this teen that needs help and I'm going to help her, and she doesn't end up having anything to do with her murder. So I hope that's what it was,
I'm really angry for the situation because, her parents didn't want her.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you said it's not like they didn't want her, but they didn't want her.
Yeah.
Because they didn't accept her.
Right.
And, it just makes me mad that they refused to let her leave.
Right.
But then didn't let her go back home.
Well, and I don't know. They said that Mercedes didn't want to go back home. So I don't know whose choice it was. But if you're not accepted for who you are, is it really even a choice?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's not. It just really sucks.
You'd rather have your teenage daughter homeless and staying with some strange lady than either accept who they are or let them go to Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's baloney.
So one day her friend in Texas was scrolling through Facebook and saw a news article that her friend had been found dead. So the first person the police spoke to obviously was Jeannie. She basically said that I saw a poor homeless teen and tried to help her out. That's why she was living with me. She said that the last time she had saw Mercedes was 3 days before she had been found dead. She said a car pulled up into her yard. Mercedes got some stuff out of her trailer and said, I'm going to hang out with this guy. Bye. And Jeannie said all that she could see was that it was a white male, but that's all she knew.
Mm-hmm.
Then a call came in to investigators that was crazy. The caller said, "Hey, my son killed Mercedes."
What?
Yeah. And the owner or the caller was a man who owned the land where Mercedes' bodies was found.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And they're like, can you come down and talk to us? So he did. And he left a written statement saying that his 27-year-old son, Josh Valum, killed Mercedes.
Why is it always someone named Josh?
It's always a Josh. Although I do have to say, I knew one Josh in high school. His name was Josh. Well, I'm not going to say his full name, but he was adorable. I had a huge crush on him, and he was super, super sweet.
Aw.
And as far as I know, he hasn't murdered anyone yet.
Yeah, I knew a Josh in elementary school, and he used to be a little cray-cray, but he's really nice now.
Yeah. This Josh was a pretty good friend of mine, and he's very sweet.
Good.
So his dad said that Josh didn't live with him, but he did visit often, so he had a lot of access to the property. Bobby, the dad, said that he didn't know who Mercedes was or how she was connected to Josh, but he did say that his son called him and said, "I killed someone in the woods." But then, and then didn't tell his dad where he was. So it's not like he could tell police, like, "Oh, he's hiding out here," or whatever.
What?
Yeah, I just feel like this is so matter of fact. Like, he called his dad, like, "Yo, I killed someone in the woods." And then his dad called the cops, was like, "Yo, my son murdered someone." Like, okay.
What?
Yeah.
It's funny because I just saw a TikTok where you could hear this like kid sobbing in the background, and the dad's just reading a book, and like he said something like when your son is crying because his girlfriend found out he cheated and I was the one that told her.
Oh no.
It was like, yeah. Yeah, not raising no cheater.
I
not raising a murderer.
Nope. Yeah, if I found, like, there's nothing my child could do to make me stop loving them, but I also realize that they need to have consequences for their actions. And if Oliver ever murdered someone and I found out, you need to face consequences.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell on you.
I'll still love you. I'll come visit you in prison, but you ain't gonna murder someone and get away with it.
No, exactly. And there's so many people that just like don't believe it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, not my little boy.
Yeah. Well,
they're
of course,
a pillar of the community.
My little boy will never do that. So he's gonna be a perfect angel forever.
So will my child, although she has like a little crazy streak.
Oliver's just like the sweetest little baby. Like, I would be shocked if he turns out crazy, but my soon-to-be daughter will probably be the crazy one, I think.
Evie's crazy. She's like the sweetest little girl. Like, if you are not looking at her and she wants to talk to you, she'll grab your face with both of her hands and turn your face to look at her.
That's
and
so
then
cute.
And then I'll turn my head away just to be like
funny.
Yeah, and then she'll grab my face and go.
Cute.
She's so funny. But if you say no to her, even if you're like, "No, thank you," like you're very sweet about it, she'll like bottom lip comes out, head goes down, and she just like sulks away.
Oliver's like that too. If you tell him no, he puts his head down. Doesn't matter what it's on, he puts his head down.
Yeah.
But like all the way down to like rest it on something. He's so weird.
Oh, jeez. Well, and the thing is, like, what other word do you say, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, thank you. Like,
I like
not
no,
being mean.
You. Yeah.
I do too. Like, rather than just saying no, it's no, thank you.
No, thank you. Or I'll say no.
Yeah.
Because he's still not talking yet. So I try and keep things really easy, you know?
Yeah. No, for sure.
All right.
He's a chatterbox.
Oh, he chats.
Yeah.
Just it's not words.
That's okay.
But he chats.
Oh, that's good. No, she has a lot of words, but she won't say yes for whatever reason. She says no. She'll say mama, dada, nanny, papa, doggy, kitty, Wawa, like water,
Uh-huh.
cereal, milk. She'll, instead of saying please, she says cheese.
That's cute.
She says a lot of words. She's
That's awesome.
insane.
That's awesome.
Watch Miss Rachel.
Oh, we have every once in a while I'll put on Miss Rachel. He really likes her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She has a TikTok.
I know.
I found her the other day on TikTok.
I love Miss Rachel.
She's a very awesome. I like her a lot. I learned things from her. I learned
yeah,
mom and dad, the sign language for mom and dad, and for water.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Evie and I went to the mall the other day together, and it was getting kind of later, so I got some fries to eat on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like pass them back to her in her car seat, and her hand would just be like this. She'd be like, and I'm like, okay. And so I would like give her another fry. And then I said, okay, can you say more, please? And I looked back and I see her in the background just going
more.
like this. I'm like, I can't see you.
Mom, figure it out.
Yeah.
That's cute.
It's so funny.
That's adorable.
Anyways, back to Mercedes. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, so this was a decent lead, obviously.
Oh yeah, the dad said that his son murdered somebody. Okay.
Yeah. And where Mercedes' body was found, it was extremely remote, hard to get to unless you like knew the land and had some pretty good access to it. So
yeah,
they decided to look into Josh's criminal record, and boy, did he have one.
Oh no.
He was arrested for indecent exposure, parole violations, and domestic violence. They also noticed in his intake photo that he had a lot of tattoos, and several that revealed he was a member of the Latin Kings gang.
Ooh, can you tell me more about that?
Yes. So the Latin Kings are one of the most violent gangs out there. They originated in Chicago, but they're all over. The FBI was pretty shocked they were in Mississippi, but they're just basically a gang that's super violent.
That's not good.
No. So they're like, okay, well, we need to talk to him, but where is he? But thankfully, another police department called and let them know that Josh's car was sitting outside of a known gang house in Gosay, Mississippi, which was about 45 minutes away from where they were at. So because this was a known gang house and knowing how violent the gang was, they called in the SWAT team and had everybody come out with their hands up. But unfortunately, Josh was not there. They did take his car and they found a bunch of tools and blood spatter. They could determine that it was human blood, but he had used bleach to clean it up. So the DNA was too degraded for them to make a DNA match.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. They searched the house and they interviewed 3 people. 2 people did admit they were gang members, which was super weird.
Like, what is up with this story?
I know, everybody's just like, sure, here's all my information.
I'm guilty.
Yeah. Super weird. But it did put pressure on the gang to get Josh to turn himself in, because here's the FBI raiding their gang house, talking to their gang members. They don't want that.
No, they do not want that.
No. So a few hours later, Josh walked into the police station and said, "Hey, I'm here."
What? What? This isn't real.
I know, right? I think it's because the gang told him to. I think they said, "Josh, you need to turn yourself in because we don't want the FBI snooping around."
And you just do it?
Well, it's either that or you get murdered by your gang horribly.
I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but
Okay.
I think rotting in jail is a lot worse, but
I agree. But I mean, when you're in a gang, you do what they say, right?
Yeah.
So he said he got out of prison this past year and he met, quote, this person. He didn't ever refer to her as her or Mercedes. He just said this person, that person. Thankfully, he didn't say it. which a lot of times you get. But he said they talked and he grew to like the person a lot. So you can see he's
Aw.
disassociating
Yeah.
her with,
Yeah.
yeah. He said that he and Mercedes were just friends and were hanging out, but in the same sentence, he also said he spent the night and slept in her bed. He said they were kissing, but they didn't sleep together, so he just kind of like assumed she was a virgin.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So apparently they dated for about 6 months and then split up. And he said on May 30th, their relationship changed. He hadn't seen her in a while. And then all of a sudden he saw her like walking down the street. Again, small town, not that surprising. And he drove by and asked if she had plans. And she said no. And he said, well, you do now. Get in. He said, I made my intentions clear. I told her I was horny and just wanted to have some sex.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So he took her 50 miles back to his dad's house because that was the only place he could think of. He didn't have a residence in Mississippi, so that was like the only place he could go. He said he started making out and he moved his hand and felt, quote, something that wasn't supposed to be there. And then he said, and here's where the it comes in, that person wasn't who I thought it was. So shitty.
I hate that. And I mean,
Me too.
it just seems weird that, you would date for 6 months
Exactly.
and not know about that.
And if he's a gang member, like, I don't think he's waiting 6 months to have sex with someone.
No.
So he said that when he felt that, he blacked out of panic and rage over her being transgender. He said it was a blind rage, and he said it was the victim's fault.
Of course he did.
Yeah. But the detectives made a very good point. Not only, what we just said about being with someone for 6 months in a gang and not having sex with them, which if you're with someone for 6 months and you don't want to have sex with them, that is totally your prerogative. We're just saying, like, if he's in a gang, it doesn't seem like he'd be the type that would wait.
Yeah, it's the typical MO, right?
Yeah. But the detective also said that Mercedes as a person was very open and very out about who she was.
Yeah.
And he found it very unlikely that he wouldn't have known. But Josh was setting the ground for a defense strategy known as the gay or transgender panic, which is basically saying that the victim's gender identity or sexual preference is to blame for the defendant's violent reaction. So it's not really their fault, Jessica.
I hate everything about
or
that.
babies. They just can't help themselves.
Like, just admit that you like it and move on with your day.
I know.
But it does seem odd though that, like we said, 6 months of being with somebody, he would have known.
Mm-hmm.
So what made this time so different that he kills her?
We're going to get into that.
Okay.
Yes. So
did she say no?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But this gay or transgender panic has worked as a legal defense strategy in a few states, including Mississippi, where it's given outright acquittals or like super lean sentencing, such as like 6 months for murder.
Okay.
Which, aside from the fact that it is the stupidest thing I've ever heard and super degrading, nobody uses that excuse for anything else. Like, it's not like you say, oh, I'm a Christian and I found out that they were, I don't know, Hindu, and I went on a blind rage about it and killed. Like, nobody else uses that excuse. Why is that an acceptable excuse for gay or transgender people?
And like, blacking out isn't a very common thing.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems too convenient,
Yeah. It's so stupid. He also said, quote, you ready for this bullshit?
No, but go for it.
It's not my fault. She got into my car after I told her I wanted to have sex. Yeah.
Okay. But like, he probably, I don't know.
He
He's
said
probably very forceful about it, but
I'm sure. He said he remembers screaming at her, but he didn't remember what he said, but he could remember what she said.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because you were so blacked out, right?
right. But he said that she said, "Oh God, Josh, please no." So sad.
I hate everything about that.
Yes. And the FBI didn't want this douche canoe to be able to get away with this. And they thought it was super weird that he wouldn't have known that she was transgender. So they started asking around. And her friend said there was absolutely no way he didn't know. And one friend named Rachel said that she was positive he knew because they were at a party and Mercedes and Josh were having sex in another room, like very loud sex.
Oh my gosh.
Like
okay.
clearly sex.
Like, dude, come on.
Yeah. And the evidence that they found in a data dump of Josh's mobile phone had a lot of gay porn and nearly 100 images of naked men on it.
Okay, buddy, like, how did you think that you were gonna get out of that?
I know. And the thing is like, if you're gay and you're not okay with being gay, that's something you need to work out on your own. Don't take it out on other people.
Yeah.
But they also wanted to see if the Latin Kings had any bearing on what Josh did. And one of the things they did confiscate from the house raid was the Latin Kings bylaw. Or the bylaws. And one bylaw said that no member should be involved with homosexual activities. Now, because they all seem to be homophobic, they would consider that homosexual activity. But as we know, trans women are considered women. So it would be heterosexual activity because she was a woman.
Yes.
But, they didn't care about that. And they were like, the detectives were like, this could be a motive. If he's not allowed to engage in any homosexual activity, otherwise they have serious, serious consequences. And they consider what he did with Mercedes homosexual activity. It could be a reason why he killed her, to keep her quiet.
But okay.
So they decided to talk to some of the gang members. And apparently one of the gang members said that Mercedes and Josh came to a beach party and he had asked Josh if Mercedes was transgendered and started making jokes about her Adam's apple and her broad shoulders. And Josh denied it, but the gang member wasn't convinced and he constantly made comments and jokes about it. So if Josh thought that they were like figuring it out, the quickest way to stop that would be to murder her. And then he didn't have to worry about it anymore.
Or just like stop seeing her.
Right. I'm saying in Josh's mind, not logically.
But honestly, that's the thing. Like they're not very logical. Like just stop seeing them. Like, why do you have to murder them?
Right. Just leave her alone. Move on.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand.
It was like that priest that murdered his pregnant wife.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah. So stupid.
Ugh.
So if Josh had killed Mercedes because she was transgendered and he was trying to protect his reputation, it would make it a federal hate crime. So off he went to court, but at his pretrial hearing, so this is for the state, not federally. So the state pretrial hearing, Josh confessed to killing Mercedes and pled guilty. And no one had any idea he was going to do this, including his lawyer, because you should have seen his lawyer's face when he said it.
Really?
He was shocked.
Like,
it was hilarious. Yeah, he was like, it was hilarious. And then his eyes stayed big the remainder of what the judge was saying. So he was sentenced to life in prison. But Mercedes' friends wanted him charged with the hate crime because they said, he did this because she was transgendered and no other reason. And apparently Mississippi state hate crimes do not include the LGBTQ community because what even is Mississippi? But the FBI was already involved, and federally, hate crimes do include LGBTQ community.
Oh, good. What is with Mississippi?
It's so Awful. So if they prosecuted Josh federally, it would be under the Hate Crimes Prevention Act. And so they decided to do that. He said, not only to get justice for Mercedes, but also to send a message that you can't just murder these transgender men and women.
Yeah.
Just because they're transgendered. And they kind of wanted to send this message. So 6 months after his state crime, Josh also pled guilty to a federal hate crime as well. Again, they think that he pled guilty because the Latin Kings told him to, because they didn't want, because some of the Latin Kings were supposed to be called up to testify, and they were using the Latin Kings bylaws, and they didn't want to have anything to do with this. So they're like, you have to plead guilty. So he pled guilty. He was sentenced to an additional 49 years in prison, which at this point, this is kind of a sad statistic because this was in 2017. And at this point, this was the first time in U.S. history that a federal hate crime for transgender person was convicted. What? In 2017.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I hate everything about that.
Yeah.
And it's always funny because we always hear about, the American dream.
Yep.
And your country is like going down in flames right now.
It really is.
I am so sorry for all of you awesome people that have to live in that country, because there's just a lot of ass backwards things going on right now. And I mean, there are here too, but I don't feel like it's to the same extent.
Yeah. I think, not to get too political, but I think Trump really changed America. Not that this wasn't always here, because it was, but he made it more acceptable to be out and about it. Mm-hmm. And to have these crazy politicians in power and his little cult following him. So I think he forever changed the American landscape.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I wish Barack could come back.
I do too. I love that man.
Yeah.
So here's a quote that's going to infuriate you. Are you ready?
No, I'm not ready, because this whole story has infuriated me.
So this is from Josh. He said, I'm secure in my relationship with God, but I don't know that Mercedes was secure. So I have to live with the fact that I killed Mercedes and that she is now in hell.
What?
Yep.
You're secure in God, yet you murdered somebody? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
And you're in a gang?
Yep.
Like, fuck you, Josh.
Yep. So he's still in prison.
Good.
Yeah, he will be.
Hell.
Yep. And unfortunately, Mercedes' friends and family have to live with this. They're happy, that she got justice. They're happy that this, he got convicted of a hate crime. One of her friends said that, they just wish that she didn't have to be the first one.
Yeah. And it is really sad, that's the first one.
Yeah. And that's the story of the murder of Mercedes Williamson.
Thanks. I
hated
every part of it, but it was very well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was a sad one, but I'm trying to do more minority communities, like transgender, women of color, that kind of stuff. So next week I'll try and do something similar, but it's just really sad.
It's really sad. I hate that that's what our world is right now.
I know. And I just, with so many things like this and so many political things right now, I just don't understand why people can't mind their damn business. If you don't like gay people, don't be gay.
Yeah.
If you don't want an abortion, don't get an abortion. but why is everybody so hell-bent on pushing everything else on their beliefs on other people?
Exactly. That's the problem. They
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
because they want everybody to be the same and in line, and
Yeah. If you don't like it, don't do it. Just move on.
just ignore it.
Yeah. So anyway, let's hear about something cool like the Alaskan Triangle.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
I am too. Okay, so I got my sources from Legends of America, thetravel.com. Oh my god, my eyeball. Discovery.com and the Travel Channel. Oh god. Okay. So again, it's a shorty, but it's a goodie.
Good.
And Ashley even helped me find, like, she sent me some links to these
Oh,
stories, so that was nice. And then I obviously did my own research.
nice.
But it was funny because I read like a lot of different resources, and they all basically had like the same setup, the same info. So it was hard to find a lot of different information, but
Gotcha.
we'll go through it.
Sounds good.
And apologies for my pronunciation of certain things, because it's been a busy week. All right. So the frontier state's remote wilderness contains the Alaska Triangle, often known as Alaska's Bermuda Triangle, where mystery abounds and people go missing frequently.
Ooh.
Due to all the activity that individuals have reported seeing there, akin to the Bermuda Triangle, some even refer to the Alaskan Triangle as the Devil's Triangle.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to look up where this is located.
Yeah, I'll post a map of it as well on our Instagram post.
Okay.
Are you looking it up?
I am.
Okay. I'm going to tell you as well, but
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. Okay.
yeah. So the causes of all the disappearances have been attributed to everything from malevolent forces at work to mysterious vortexes. However, to this day, not a single hypothesis has been confirmed to be accurate.
Interesting.
Many others believe that extraterrestrial activity may possibly be to blame, because the region reportedly receives more claims of UFO encounters. One of the craziest claims is that Bigfoot exists. However, in Alaska, he is known as Kushtaka, who is a predator who draws unwary individuals into the forest.
Oh, I like to think of my Bigfoot as nice and fuzzy.
Right? Not like a big, burly, scary guy.
Yeah, nice and fuzzy.
Yeah. The Alaska Triangle connects Anchorage, the state's main city in the south, Juneau in the state's southeast panhandle, and Barrow, a small town on the state's north coast. In October 1972, a tiny private jet carrying U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs, Alaska Congressman Nick Begich, I don't know, an aide, Russell Brown, and their Bush pilot Don Johns mysteriously disappeared while en route from Anchorage to Juneau.
Oh.
Over the course of more than a month, 50 civilian planes, 40 military planes, and numerous boats searched an area measuring 32,000 square miles.
Wow.
But no sign of the jet, the men, the wreckage, or any debris was ever discovered.
That's crazy, because if you look at where like the triangle is and where Anchorage to Juneau is, you go over a little bit of ocean, but not a ton. I mean, unless they like really swung it out, but even then, like it's so close to shore, you wouldn't think it would be that deep and that hard for them to find.
There's a lot of mountains though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
a lot of snow cover and ice, and
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. The silver lining is that Congress passed legislation requiring emergency locator transmitters to be installed in every American civilian airplane as a result of this tragedy.
Oh, okay.
After that, other planes crashed, hikers vanished, and locals and visitors to Alaska appeared to vanish into thin air. In fact, the Alaska Triangle has seen more than how many disappearances since 1988, Ashley?
500.
16,000.
Oh my gosh.
With a
Whoa.
missing person rate that is more than twice the national average.
That's insane.
In Alaska, 500 to 2,000 individuals go missing every year and are never found. Authorities send out hundreds of rescue efforts, but they frequently come back empty-handed and without even a scrap of evidence or the missing individual. In 2007, it was reported that Alaska state troopers responded to 85 reports of missing boaters, 100 reports of missing snow machine operators, and 42 rescues of hikers who had been reported missing.
Wow. I mean, I would expect that area to have a higher number of people missing just because the Alaskan landscape is so brutal. But I wouldn't think it'd be that much. Holy crap.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Yeah.
That is why it is called the Alaskan Triangle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And crazy that we never heard about this one, but we hear about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, when this one seems like it would be more of an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
In addition to the above noted theories, like the extraterrestrial, the vortexes, all that kind of stuff, the wilderness itself is most likely the cause for all of these missing persons. This region is home to thick forests, jagged mountain peaks, enormous glaciers, secret caverns, and deep crevices where missing hikers or wrecked planes may easily be buried before being covered by snowfall, erasing any traces of human activity.
Well, and I guess I was going to say, but then why? I mean, that sounds like a lot of Alaska, right? So then why isn't it as prevalent in other places in Alaska? But I think that probably the travel from Anchorage to Juneau is probably a lot more prevalent than the travel anywhere else in Alaska.
Yeah, exactly.
So that does make sense.
Yeah. But especially because they're like the main cities, right?
Right. Yeah.
This tough environment is home to several wild species as well, and is frequently susceptible to extreme weather, including avalanches.
Yeah. That's not good.
Alaska contains more than half of the country's federally designated wilderness and dangerous. That was weird.
I have no idea what happened. All of a sudden, my camera went out, my speaker went out, it all went out.
Did you hear me though?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
So apparently the Alaskan Triangle doesn't want us talking about it.
Imagine. Anyways, yeah, I'm like terrified to go to this state.
Yeah.
But
okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Many people, nonetheless, agree that the triangle contains energy vortexes.
Oh.
It is believed that energy vortexes are swirling, concentrated areas of energy that are found where the energy crackles most strongly. Positive and negative impacts are produced as the energy radiates in a spiraling cone shape in either a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. They are believed to have a variety of physical, psychological, and emotional effects on people. Positive vortexes provide an energy flow that is enhancing by spiraling upward in a clockwise direction. This is thought to promote self-discovery, meditation, healing, and creativity.
I feel like Sonoma, Arizona has like a positive vortex. I could be wrong.
Oh, cool. To be inspired. Oh, God. Oh, no, I was right. To be inspired, rejuvenated, or elevated, people will seek out these locations. The Egyptian pyramids, Stonehenge, the Sedona Desert, and revered churches all around the world are a few locations where positive vortexes are rumored to exist.
Oh.
Negative vortexes, on the other hand, spiral downward in a counterclockwise direction, draining or diminishing the good energy around them.
Oh.
They are thought to contribute to a variety of health issues in people, including anxiety, sadness, nightmares, disorientation, and both visual and auditory hallucinations.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. They allegedly also lead to the malfunction of electrical equipment. The Bermuda Triangle, Japan's Devil's Sea, and Easter Island are a few locations that are reported to be home to negative vortexes.
Oh, wow.
And honestly, it seems really likely that that would be the case here because, you know, if your equipment's malfunctioning, you are hallucinating,
Yeah.
all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like, and
That's crazy.
you know what? Like that might have even been the case with like the Diet Love Pass,
Oh, maybe.
right?
Yeah. Interesting. So are these vortexes like supernatural thought, or are they like scientifically like these are real?
I mm, I will get into it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Large concentrations of magnetic anomalies have been detected in Alaska as well by electronic sensors. Some of these anomalies have thrown compasses off by up to 30 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Additionally, several members of the search and rescue community have complained of dizziness, confusion, and oral hallucinations.
Wow.
It's unclear whether energy vortexes are real, but to
Okay.
me, it seems like it could be very likely.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like it's probably a supernatural thing as well as some science behind it,
Yeah.
but it's probably contributed to the fact that they're in a higher elevation as well, right? So
Yeah.
kind of like Mount Everest, you know,
Hmm.
the higher you go, the less oxygen there is, you're going to get disorientated, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. That makes sense.
and even the compasses, like with these anomalies as well, right?
Hmm.
And screwing up your compass, you're not going to know where you're going. You're a tourist to the area, like
It's a dangerous terrain.
yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
even though local authorities warn against going out into the wilderness, tourists don't seem to listen to them. And most of them are really unprepared for the ravaging and unforgiving outback of Alaska.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I don't blame them because I never would have known that. Like
Yeah.
Alaska is it looks like it's this beautiful place, right? You don't think that it
Hmm.
would be super dangerous. And especially looking at the map, right? Like even you said, it just looks like there's water, but there's mountains and caves and crevices. And
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
A military plane carrying 44 passengers also vanished in 1950, leading many to speculate if the weather played any role in the incident. Similar events occurred in 1990 when a plane carrying 340 people vanished.
Oh.
However, a British South American Airways plane crashed in the Alaskan wilderness in 1947. The wreckage wasn't discovered for more than 50 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. When it was, specialists were able to put the situation together. It was found that the plane had really crashed into a vertical glacier and upon reaching the ground created an avalanche that quickly buried the aircraft.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I could see
Yeah,
that happening, several times.
exactly.
Wow.
Consequently, the problem is not just the wilderness by itself. So,
Yeah.
the mythological beings that take on different forms are examined by author Dennis Waller in his study of an I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this name.
Okay.
It's the name of an Indian tribe.
Oh, okay.
Um, and I really don't want to offend anybody, so I'm not
Yeah,
even
for
going to
sure.
attempt to say it. Um, and they're from Southeast Alaska.
Okay.
The Bigfoot of the Alaskan Triangle is known as the Kushtaka, which loosely translates to land otter man.
I love that. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. According to legend, the creature lures victims to a nearby river where it rips them to shreds or transforms them into another Kushtaka by taking on an irresistible shape like a family or helpless infant.
Okay, so what I heard was that it lures them to the river where it lets them scritch behind its ears and then lets them go. So I heard.
Wouldn't that be nice? And I think I'm gonna get more into him next week. I don't know
Okay.
though. don't hold my word to it, but I'll try my best.
Okay.
Because he seems really interesting.
He does, yeah.
So there are other people that also went missing, and I will touch on them. Because this was the only article I could even find on people that went missing.
Real quick, will you spell the creature's name?
Yeah, Kushtaka.
I want to see what he looks like.
Kushtaka.
Oh, he's scary.
Is he? I haven't even looked him up.
Yeah, he's real scary. And then they have a picture of an otter holding a spear.
I love everything about
He's
that.
got like an otter face,
Mhm.
and then a super long neck, and then like a really muscular, creepy body.
Ew.
He's not great looking, but I still would like to scratch him behind his ears.
Oh, nice.
He's got a cute little otter face.
Oh, we love
Okay, sorry.
otters. No, that's
Go
okay.
ahead.
All right. So the first one is Thomas Anthony Nuzzi, who was a nurse who worked all over the state and had no fixed address. Instead, he resided in motels while he was on duty. He was working in Bethel, which was only a short flight away, but had been staying in Anchorage. After missing work on June 19th, 2001, Nuzzi was reported missing. The night before he vanished, security footage of him at a gas station was found by the investigators. In the station, Nuzzi and a woman were buying cigarettes and snacks. The motel's housekeepers later reported seeing an odd man and woman in Nuzzi's room. At his nearby storage facility, Nuzzi's bicycle was discovered. 12 miles outside of Anchorage, his Jeep was discovered. The second man, the woman, and Nuzzi were never located.
That's weird.
Yeah.
He tried to scratch him behind his ears.
On August 17th, 2020, Frank Minano, 69, was reported missing from Nenana. I hope that's how you say it. The center of the Alaska Triangle is Nenana, which is situated roughly 60 miles to the west of Fairbanks. Okay. Authorities were informed by his family that they think he got lost in the woods, although Minano was described as a traditional educator and mentor on culture, hunting, subsistence, living, and honoring the earth. Although,
so I could see that going one of two ways. One, I could see where people would say he knew too much to let himself get in trouble. Or I can see it going where he thought he knew enough to keep safe and he didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Although it has been more than a year since Minano went missing, authorities suspect he sought refuge at a nearby cabin on the first night he went missing. But he has not been seen since.
That's sad.
On June 3rd, 2019, Shanna Oman traveled to Fairbanks to see a friend. 6 days later, when Oman's roommate reported that she hadn't come home, police were contacted. Her cell phone's last tower ping was on June 4th, although she was headed for Eagle River. The woman was sought after by a police dog and a helicopter, but she was never located. In 1995, Leonard Lane, a 73-year-old World War II vet, was in Fairbanks taking in the 4th of July parade when he disappeared. Because of his combat injuries, it was noticed that he walked with a noticeable limp. The man's possible fate was unknown to police, who had no leads or information. He was ruled legally dead in 1997, but the case has never been resolved. On the evening of October 11th, 2014, Jael Tiara Hamblin, a 20-year-old mother, and her roommate went out to eat. The women went back to their homes, but is it Jael or Jael? It's like Jael.
I don't know. I would think Jael.
Jael. Okay. So even though they both went back home, Jael made the choice to go out alone once more. Her roommate discovered Jael's unmade bed and her vehicle still parked in the driveway the following morning. 5 months later, her purse was discovered buried in the snow, but Jael hasn't been seen since.
So she went out on foot?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's my short story on the Alaskan Triangle, but it was like,
that was great.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
What is your theory?
My theory is not very fun.
Okay, what is your theory?
Just that it's a really tough terrain and people aren't always prepared for it, and
yeah,
stuff happens.
Yeah, no, of course. And I think it's a combination of all of the theories.
Yeah.
Obviously the Kushtaka one is harder to,
but it's my favorite.
Yeah. Because it's the cutest one.
See, that's my problem is like, I believe in like supernatural and stuff like that, but I'm also extremely skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely skeptical, but I believe in it.
Or
but you just really got to prove it to me.
Or you're just very fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And are skeptical about it, you know?
Yeah. Like when you sent me the video of the orbs and I was like, looks like dust to me. And like, for me, honestly, I have never seen a video that I was like, yeah, that looks like orbs and not dust.
Honestly, the first one that went by looked like an orb to me, but then the second one looked more like dust.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought it was creepy.
So I just like, I like, there's this also like this viral video going around on TikTok of this guy whose attic door comes, he says his house is haunted, his attic door comes down, something falls out, the stairs come down.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was like, that just had a box on it and it fell out. Like,
yeah, no, that doesn't seem like a legitimate thing to me.
Okay, good.
No.
Yeah, I'm just very skeptical, but I love it. I love it all. And I do believe in it. Like, I do believe there's ghosts and stuff roaming. You got to prove it to me.
I just found my Ouija board the other day.
Don't you do it, Jessica. You know what happens.
My Stranger Things Ouija board.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So like, it's literally like how she had it in the first season where it with like the lights.
Oh,
so it's kind of just drawn on like that. It's really cute.
That's cute.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, I had a joke and I forgot it. So
oh no.
Do you have any jokes?
I don't.
Okay, well, this was a pretty lighthearted story anyway, so yeah. Except for the people dying. That's sad. It's just sad, but the triangle itself was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you want more of us lovely ladies, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram and now YouTube.
And if you would like to rate and review us, you can do so on Spotify and Apple. We love reading all the reviews, whether they're good or bad, because the bad ones just make us giggle.
Yeah. Or improve. Like if they're legit, we'll improve. So,
but the one 1-star review we have is just so funny.
Yeah. So we laugh and joke because it's so awful. Not because we think these things are funny.
Yeah.
And we hope our listeners know that.
Well, and that's the thing. I honestly don't think that they are like a true listener.
Yeah.
Because if you listen further, we literally say 10 times an episode that we're laughing because we're uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. So we hope that you guys do know that, we don't think murders and this awful stuff that we cover is funny. We just try and bring humor to horrible things
because we don't want everybody to come away from our podcast feeling depressed and sad.
Yes. So anyway, on that note, we look forward to bringing you 2 new stories next week.
Bye.
Bye.